Okay, before we actually get into this video, I want to clarify something. This whole segment was originally supposed to be a part of a different video, one where I would just be talking about my Sonic AUs and all of the stupid little universes I've been building for years. But when I looked back at how long the video was getting, I then realized the personal stuff really didn't belong next to it. The video would have been like 2 hours long or something. I don't even know, dude. It felt wrong to sandwich something this heavy between concepts and lore explanations with, like, different alternate timelines and stuff. So I separated it, and because this deserves its own space. Also, if you've been around my my Instagram days, thank you. Seriously, that means more than I probably say out loud. And if you're new here, hi, I go by Lancy. You can call me that. I mean, you can call me whatever you want, but I mean, I don't know. You have free will, so use it wisely. Um, this video isn't really about Sonic per se. It's just about why I disappeared. It's about the last 7 to 8 years of my life and the people who shaped it. Not in a dramatic way, more in a draining way. Since 2020, things kind of unraveled. Not just because of the world, but because who I let into mine. And I want to be honest about that. Because whether I like it or not, those experiences affected my art. They affected my confidence. They affected what I was willing to post. They affected what I was scared to share. For a long time, I genuinely felt shackled. Like I was performing for a small audience instead of creating for myself. You know? Like as if I was a jester in someone else's court instead of the author of my own world. And I know, at the end of the day, I chose those people. That part is on me. But I also know this: they were lessons. Hard ones at that. The kind you only have to learn from once. These people are no longer in my life. I am not here to reopen doors. I am here to close them properly. Some of this is scripted, especially the 3 pillar section that I will be getting into in just a bit, because writing it down helped me organize my thoughts that were really messy for years. But honestly, the rest of this is just me talking. I For the 3 pillar section, I don't even know if I said anything yet. If I did, I apologize. I tend to be a broken record at times. Okay. I was originally going to be doing the 3 pillar section as this whole 3D animation segment or whatever, but I still have a lot to learn, and I didn't want to do full 3D renders. I don't want to overproduce it, and I am not draining myself for perfection. So instead, you're going to be getting the storyboard version, because honestly, I would rather be honest and imperfect than polished and silent. So, if you watch this all the way through, thank you. If you relate, I hope you feel less alone. And if nothing else, maybe this will help you be more careful about who you let stand close to your creativity. Anyways, here's the video. Anyways, I just okay, I've for quite some time I I haven't been I really haven't been posting consistently since like 2022. And I feel horrible about that. I know it's really stupid of me to say because I'm barely even a person like on here. You know what I mean? I'm more so just a viewer when it comes with like creations and all that stuff. Like, but honestly, it just sucks because I used to be posting on Instagram so many fucking times. And I know my channel doesn't really have that many videos. It's just stupid stuff and oh god. Like, oh my gosh, I post cringe and oh god, I'm just an idiot, okay? But where I'm talking about as to where I post a lot is on Instagram. Um I used to post there a lot like during 2020 and I just uh, I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain. I just I feel bad that I haven't been posting consistently since 2022. And I know that's really stupid of me to say because I barely even post on YouTube anyway. Like, oh my god. Um it's just that I post on Instagram a lot. At least I used to until certain people in my life kind of ruined things for me. And it just, like it just sucked because at the time I would always say I'm going to make a comic or I'm going to finish the story or I'm going to draw this thing and then I don't like I and I know how that looks. It looks like I don't care. It looks like that I'm lazy. It looks like I'm all talk. And again, this message really is for the people who've actually stuck by my stupid account. Like, ever since I started posting, oh my gosh, on Insta, bro. Like, oh my god. Like, I created so much, and yet most of my stuff, like, dude, I was happy. Like, dude, I was so happy, and like, people in my life just like ruined stuff for me, which I'll get more into detail in a bit. Anyways, and the truth about that, me not posting as frequently or anything like that, is because my energy isn't always there when my ideas are. My mental capacity doesn't always show up when my motivation does. Sometimes I want to create so fucking badly, and like my body and brain are just empty. Sometimes I procrastinate because I'm too scared to actually start. And sometimes I stop because I'm too scared to finish. And this part is hard to admit, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm kind of afraid of success. I know that sounds really like stupid and egotistical. I know. But like, haven't you ever like posted some like you like from creator to creator? Haven't you ever posted like an AU idea or like a concept idea and then people start like liking it? It's like whoa, like oh my gosh, oh my gosh, like whoa, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. Oh my gosh, but yeah, and it's like I feel like I just feel like if I really pour myself into something, people will see it, and if people see it, I can potentially like disappoint them, and I always hate that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because that comes with everything. And I just at the time, I felt like my stories weren't good enough, like my art wasn't good enough, like I'm not consistent enough. So sometimes I freeze before I even begin. And on top of that, I've dealt with a lot of loss, emotional loss, losing people you give your whole heart to, losing versions of yourself, losing the future you thought you were building. That kind of loss still messes with you, even when those people are technically still around. These relationships that I've had didn't hurt me once and disappear. They changed how I trust. They changed what I allow. They changed what I tolerate. And they changed the kind of person I'm willing to be close to. They taught me what I will never accept again. And because of that, like I've started doing vent art, lots of it. Oh god. And I just, oh god. Anyways, and I feel bad because I've been so inconsistent. Like I've disappeared and come back and disappeared again. I know. It's really annoying and I feel bad for some of you who actually like like I feel bad for those of you who actually stick around and like are curious about like the stupid concepts and things and that I draw and things that I do and create. It's like it's so flattering. Like thank you. Like thank you so much for actually sticking around. Like oh my god. Oh god. Oh, I laughed so ugly, bro. Please. Oh my god. Anyways, okay, so god. I hate that I laugh so much. Like I laugh when I'm nervous. I'm sorry. Okay, okay. Like this is literally just like one-on-one me talking to you as an individual and it feels so weird. I know it's like just realistically just me talking to myself and in the fucking computer room and whatever. But like but still it's like I I just I want you to at least listen to what I have to say. So that way you have a better understanding as to what I went through. But anyways, me disappearing and coming back over and over again, I'm not proud of it. I really am not. And before I go any further, I need to acknowledge something else. I know I'm not the only one having a hard year. I know everyone is carrying something. And recently, I lost someone. I lost a family member, a pet of mine. I know to some people that might sound really, really small, but she wasn't small to me. She was there for years, through phases, through heartbreak, through growth, through everything. Like she was there when I was like going through depression, dude. Like, oh my god. And losing her on top of everything else felt like the ground just dropped out from under me. Like grief doesn't ask if you're already overwhelmed. It just shows up anyway. So, I'm sorry. Like if I I mean this in general, like if I ever post anything like on Insta, on YouTube, like I don't even know if I'm going to be consistent or not. Like this might be a once in a blue moon post. I genuinely don't know, but like if I ever seem tired, if I seem heavier, if my energy feels different, that's why. And I know other people are grieving things as well. People, pets, versions of themselves, friendships, futures that didn't happen. So if you're dealing with your own stuff too, I see you. Like I understand. I know I'm not the only one struggling, and I just finally decided to talk about mine. And yeah, by the way, my last video bro, please. Oh my god, dude, I'm so cringe, bro. Oh my god. I literally, dude, I feel so bad. Like the day, okay, the day I recorded making that stupid video, I was literally just like fucking I was literally just like on Roblox on my PC like fucking playing on fucking the disaster or whatever, and I was like I might as well just put on the fucking voice effects, and I wasn't thinking at all. I just I know. You probably saw the video and you're just thinking to yourself, "Wow, what a cringe fucking loser." I know. I know. Like, oh my god. Ugh, but it was my way of coping. It was my way of just processing things. And I genuinely just I do not like Valentine's Day anymore. I mean, I do like the aesthetics. I do love the aesthetics, but anyways, that day when I was recording that video, my my family member, my pet, the one that I had just talked about, the one that had passed away. We're just gonna call her Cherry. Anyways, okay, so that night when I was recording that stupid fucking cringy ass video, um, that same night I had just finished recording. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna edit it. I'm gonna do some art for it. I did the thumbnail myself because I'm a dumbass, and I, like I was in my room at night and I just started like editing the video, and I felt so happy with myself because I'm like, wow, like I'm actually gonna be able to share with people how I really feel. It's nothing great or grand or anything like that, It's just it's mundane, it's real. It's something that just I wanted to pour my heart out in some way, you know. And I just decided, you know what? I'm going to do this video and, just turn on the fucking stupid voice effects, whatever, and just talk. Even though I'm not really great at talking. I can barely keep up a conversation. Like I'm so introverted, you have no idea. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so that same night I was on my bed. It was 3 in the morning. I usually stay up that late because I'm an idiot. And I was editing the video. I heard the dogs barking or so, I have two huskies. I have two huskies. One is skinny and very hyper and energetic, and the other one is a fat loaf. I swear to you, like they're precious to me. I love them so much, and for throughout the night, I've been hearing the dogs be like barking outside in the backyard, and I just, I didn't think much of it because Cherry, we're gonna be calling this certain husky Cherry, the skinny and athletic one. She was like barking at the fence and stuff. She was like running around, being herself, being hyper. And that night, I heard my mom open the door, and I heard her distressed voice calling over to me, like, Lancy, Lancy, I think Cherry's not doing well. And I was like, what do you mean? So we go to the backyard, look at the patio, and we see Cherry. She is just lying there. And it breaks my heart knowing that we couldn't have done in like an autopsy on her, it really pains me, and it's so hard for me to talk about this without tearing up because it was literally the beginning of February, the night when I recorded my stupid video, the same night when I was starting to edit, when I was actually feeling happy and content with myself. Like you do not understand, you do not get it. Like I have dealt with so much throughout these 6 years, and we're gonna get into that in just a bit. I'm gonna talk about these three pillars, these three individuals of mine that were in my past that fucked everything up for me in a way. And I just, oh my god. And everything just kept stacking and stacking and stacking. And so I had to pause on posting the video, but then I eventually did it, whatever. And I'm never gonna delete that fucking video because it's just, it holds something special to me, at least. And I really don't know how to elaborate on that without sounding like an idiot. And she passed away. Like, oh, if you're wondering how she passed away, dude, literally, like, I have I have this disgruntled ass fucking neighbor that had decided to poison my fucking dog. He would complain about, oh, your dog is so loud, she barks all the time. She's a dog. They're supposed to, dogs are supposed to bark. What do you mean? Like, what? Excuse, like, dude, if you get a cat, you're gonna expect it to meow. If you get a dog, you're gonna expect it to fucking bark. Like, are you serious? Oh my god, I can't. This neighbor, he's an elderly man. He's a fucking moron. He is an actual idiot, dude. And it hurts me knowing that he had done that to my pet, to my family member, to somebody who was there with me through it all. She was so special to me. And then days later, days after, our little cherry, she got cremated, and and it's just it's crazy because there are like remnants of her still around this damn house, like pieces of fur, toys that have been fucking hidden under like the depths of the damn sofa. Like, oh my gosh, like, or just outside in general. And I'm not just saying this because I want you to feel bad for me. I want you to understand why I haven't been posting, why everything has been affecting me. I just want to talk to you as an individual, as a person. That's all. About that part, at least. 8 years, 6 to 8 years. Everything has been stacking on me. And by the way, that stupid video that I made with the fucking EXE voice dubbing, whatever. You can go watch it and laugh at me. You can say all the stupidest shit or whatever, call me cringe, whatever, but like I'm still gonna keep that video up because it has a special place in my heart. And before I continue on with more personal things, I had created a script. A script that is meant for this little project that I wanted to work on, but I decided against it. Instead, you're going to be seeing the really, really stupid storyboard version of it. I was planning on making a whole, like, fucking, like, 3D models and just, like, do, like, cinematics and stuff. But I decided against it because I do not want to be putting my energy into something like this. And like I was saying before, these three people in my life, these three pillars, these memories of mine really took a toll on me in my life. I already know I overshare. I'm aware. That's kind of my thing. But I'd rather be honest than polished. I haven't been posting, not because I ran out of ideas, not because I stopped caring, but because I've been carrying stuff I didn't know how to talk about without sounding ugly or dramatic or uncomfortable. So, these three people in my life, these are fragments of people who shaped me, people who changed how I create, how I trust, how I love, how I see myself. I just, I want to be honest about what they did to me. This is the truth on why I was gradually fading, why I disappeared. So, this is the first pillar. I call him Puppy. Manipulative, emotionally controlling, sneaky, condescending, and contradictory. Always rewriting reality so he was right and I was confused. This was the kind of relationship where you're constantly second guessing yourself. Am I too sensitive? Too emotional? Too dramatic? Until one day you realize that confusion was the design. He didn't just hurt me, he stalled my life. I wanted to be a 2D animator. That was the dream. My dream. That was the future I saw for myself. In that era, drained me so hard it paused everything. It stole time, it stole confidence, it stole my ability to trust my own judgment. When I first found him online, I thought he was cool. He was a YouTuber, creative, funny, seemingly chill. I admired him. And I think that's what makes it worse. Because when he reached out to me for the first time, I didn't think I was walking into something dangerous. We bonded over the same interest. Fandom stuff, you know? Spooky month. At first, it felt exciting. But the version of him online was a performance. The real version of him was possessive, erratic, obsessive. What started as a small crush on my end became control on his. And it escalated fast. He pushed me into creative things I wasn't comfortable with. Things that made me feel gross. Things I didn't want my name attached to as an artist. Things I convinced myself were fine because I had technically agreed. But when you're pressured, when you're emotionally cornered, agreeing isn't really agreeing, it's surviving. If I hesitated, it was guilt. Threats of breaking up, emotional manipulation disguised as love. That wasn't love, that was leverage. And the part that still lingers, he ruined things I used to love. Honestly, I can't look at Spooky Month the same anymore. I can't see Skid and Pump without remembering the anxiety, the texts, the pressure, the days I had to actually skip out on class because I couldn't breathe. I had been so stressed. I had felt so fucking anxious. And I know sometimes toxic relationships aren't loud. Sometimes it's you shrinking piece by piece just to keep the peace. I stayed because I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be chosen. I wanted to feel special to someone who felt important. But admiration is not safety, and attention is not affection. I don't forgive him. And I don't exactly hate myself for saying it. I will never let anyone convince me that confusion is love. Now, this is the second pillar. I call him imp. This one is complicated because with this dude, I actually cared a lot. I saw potential in him. I still think he has talent, even though he's pretty egotistical now. But the relationship we both had wasn't healthy. We were both hurt from previous things. We moved too fast. We trauma bonded. We tried to build something on top of emotional damage. And I'll own my part. I was reactive. I was intense. I was trying to love while still bleeding. And that's already messy. But what I won't excuse is how selfish he could be. How often I felt like I wasn't a partner. It felt like I was parenting. explaining emotional responsibility, explaining boundaries, explaining basic respect over and over. And every time something hurt me, there was an excuse. Stress, ADHD, autism, miscommunication. And I want to be careful here because neurodivergence is not the problem. Avoiding accountability is. There's a difference. Because I don't mind patience. I don't mind accommodation. What I mind is feeling like I am negotiating for basic decency. And then there was the intimacy pressure, constantly pressuring me. It was subtle at first, but then it became persistent. Request, hints, entitlement disguised as affection. The constant, but, you're my girlfriend. You gotta be kidding me. That phrase was used like access. Like the title meant ownership. And it doesn't. A relationship is not a permission slip. If your partner is uncomfortable, you stop. If they say slow down, you slow down. If they say no, you respect it. That's not complicated. But with him, oh God, it felt like I was explaining that over and over. But then eventually, I stopped feeling loved. I started feeling handled, managed, accessed, not physically, but emotionally. And that kind of pressure does something to you. It makes you tired, it makes you detached. It makes you fall out of love quietly. And when he left me 3 days before Valentine's Day, that shit fucking hurt. Not because of the holiday, but because it confirmed something I was already feeling. I wasn't a partner. I was comfort. I was convenience. I was reassurance on demand. And afterward, it became, oh, we were just trauma bonding. Like the whole relationship was a psychological accident. Like my sincerity didn't count. I'm not saying we were meant to last forever. I'm saying I was real. And I deserved to be treated like a person, not a role. But deep down, I hate him just as much as the first pillar. And I know, hate is such a strong word, but that's just my vocabulary. It's just that love is not obsession. Love is not urgency. Love is not constant access. And I will never confuse intensity with intimacy. This is the third pillar. I call her sheep. This one, this is the one that still makes me angry. Because this wasn't a relationship. This was my best friend. Almost a decade. Middle school, childhood, actual history with one another. I treated her like family. I supported her. I hyped her up. I helped her creatively. I gave her access to my world, my ideas, my stories, my loyalty. And I genuinely believed we were solid. But looking back, oh God, the friendship was shallow the whole time. I just didn't want to see it. Whenever I was going through a depression, she never really sat through the storm with me. She always waited for the storm to pass. so she could come afterwards when it was convenient, when it was easy, when she could look supportive without actually doing the hard part. With relationships, you expect heartbreak. With a best friend, you expect safety. And what broke it wasn't one dramatic explosion, it was the slow realization of imbalance. There was even a moment where I tested it. Not maliciously, just to see. When things looked messy on the surface, she didn't come to me privately. She didn't ask me what was going on. She didn't check in. She didn't defend me. She stayed distant. And that's when something clicked. Because it wasn't just emotional distance, it was the pattern. She offered help she couldn't actually give. She presented herself like she was capable, supportive, reliable. But when I needed something real, like clarity, effort, presence, it was all surface level. Reworded questions, vague reassurance, pathetic attempts on giving advice, and even GIF reactions instead of real conversations. It was like asking somebody to translate a language they claim to speak, only to realize they're just repeating sounds, making absolute gibberish, nonsense out of what they are saying. Over time, I started to notice something a little bit more worse. I only felt interesting to her when I was creating, when I was drawing, designing, building stories, refining characters, helping shape ideas. When I was useful, when I was pouring creativity into something she could attach herself to. But when I wasn't performing, when I was just a person, I felt tolerated, not cherished. There's a difference. Over time, the small things started stacking up. The pickiness, the way she would just show up to consume but not to contribute. The way I reminded her to take care of herself, to drink water, to slow down. I poured care into her. And that care was accepted, but rarely returned. It felt like giving someone full plates while surviving on crumbs. And maybe none of those moments alone sound catastrophic. But stack them over 7 or 8 years, and you start to see the truth. You weren't in a deep friendship. You were in a shallow one that lasted a long time. And long does not mean meaningful. What finally broke it was how it ended. Instead of talking to me privately, instead of being honest, she made a public post, vague wording, calm tone, quietly painting me as the problem, without naming me, letting everyone fill in the blanks, and then eventually saying she hoped I would change for the better. Are you kidding me? You do not get to stay silent for years and never communicate your issues to me, and then act like I failed a test you never told me I was taking. I'm loud. I swear. I am emotional. And worst of all, I'm authentically cringe. Even saying that alone, I felt everything in my body just shrivel. I've always have been. I've always been that kind of person. I never pretended to be anything else. If you needed somebody quieter, cleaner, easier to digest, you never should have attached yourself to me. Because what she wanted wasn't growth, it was control. And this is why I call her sheep. Sweet on the surface, polite, soft spoken, but absent where it mattered. More loyal to her image than to the people who loved her. I don't miss the friendship. I just miss who I thought she was. The friend I thought I had never became one in the first place. I'm telling you all of this because it didn't just affect my life, it affected my art. If you follow me on Insta, like you will know, you will understand. And you probably already know, like I'm very inconsistent. I say I'll be posting tomorrow and then I vanish, you know. I'm sorry about that. I'm not proud of it. These experiences changed the way that I write. Loss, about pain, about grief, like living after the person you used to be is gone. These emotions, these patterns, these lessons, these are real. But sometimes the only way I could really process something is to put it story form, storyboarding, you know. I'm not telling you this so you can feel sorry for me. I'm telling you this because it's the truth. It is my truth. And I am done minimizing it. There is also another thing I want to say. When everything with Puppy ended, I was wrecked. Disoriented, wrecked. Like my emotions didn't really balance out. He had already twisted something that I loved, which was, which was Spooky Month, even though it's like really stupid, whatever. He made me question myself a lot of times, and I was grieving that version of myself. And when I was vulnerable like that, two of the pillars did something that told me everything. They told me, I can be your skid instead. Let me just explain this to you. And I know that's like really stupid of me to say that, like just without context. So when I was in a relationship with Puppy, I we both had this, I guess, well, okay, it was mostly him. He had this obsession with Spooky Month, and he would always paint himself as like, "Oh, I'm the skid of the group. Like I'm the skid of the two, and I would just be Pump." Like he painted himself as a skid all the time, and I was forced into the role of Pump. I never really wanted to, I thought it was just going to be like, oh, like a fun kind of matching profile type of thing. Like with those best friend groups or whatever that have like Karomi and Melody, they're like matching and stuff, it's like whatever. Like, like those kind of profile pictures, and I thought it was literally just going to be that, but no, it became a whole entire thing because we had both separated, and with the previous pillars, with Imp and with Sheep, they came to me saying, I can be your skid instead. And listen, on the surface, that sounds comforting, but it wasn't. Because I wasn't asking for a replacement. I was grieving. I was grieving a relationship that I had with Puppy. I wasn't looking for someone to step into his role. I needed space. I needed stability. I needed someone to sit with the hurt. Instead, Sheep and Imp, they centered themselves. They turned my heartbreak into opportunity. That's when I started to understand something. It wasn't just about one toxic relationship, it was about a pattern. When I was strong, when I was useful, when I was creating, when I was valuable, when I was hurting, I was a vacancy. And that realization changed me. I didn't need a replacement, I needed respect. Grief is not a job opening, bro. Like what the actual fuck? Like, oh my gosh. So, about Puppy and Imp, they definitely had something in common. They didn't just act like characters, they became the characters. And before anyone misunderstands what I'm saying, I'm not judging people for loving fictional characters. Because I love Sonic, okay? Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love him. I love him to death, okay? Like, my entire room is basically a Sonic shrine at this point. Liking a character is not the problem. The problem starts when the character stops being inspiration and starts becoming your entire identity. Because there's a difference between enjoying a character and replacing yourself with one. And that was something I started to see over and over again. Whenever I tried to talk seriously, sometimes I wasn't even talking to them anymore. I was talking to like Skid or Sonic or Mickey Mouse. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever character they decided to be that day. They would just act out their character mannerisms, like the catchphrases, the voice acting. At first, I brushed it off. I thought maybe it was just a fandom thing, right? And besides, I do that as well, especially in role play, right? And maybe I was thinking like maybe they were just being playful, whatever, but after a while it stopped feeling playful. It started feeling like the real person was hiding behind the character, like the mask never fully came off. And that becomes frustrating when you're trying to have a real relationship with somebody. I wasn't trying to live inside of a fandom conversation 24/7. Sometimes I just wanted to talk to the person, the real person, not Sonic, not Skid, not whoever, whatever like this performance is, just them, you know. And the more it happened, the more it started to feel childish. Not in a fun way, like in the way where it felt like I was stuck trying to have an adult conversation with somebody who kept running back to the playground. And this is how I felt, especially with Puppy at the time. It was irritating, very irritating. Like that one kid who insists they have to be Skid every single time you play. Nobody else can be Skid. They are Skid. And if someone else tries, suddenly it's competition. Same thing could go for Sonic as well, right? Like I said, Imp and Puppy were similar. It stops being fun and it starts being ego. It just it felt exhausting. Even something small like profile pictures, matching profile pictures with somebody became this weird expectation. Like if you weren't matching characters online, it means something is wrong. Like, I'm sorry, but that mentality is exhausting. A profile picture is not proof of love. Real relationships are built on conversations, trust, respect, not matching avatars. Like what? Like what the actual fuck, dude? Oh my god. And the deeper issue behind all of it was something I didn't understand at the time. It felt like they didn't like themselves enough to be themselves. So they borrowed identities from characters that they admired, that they liked. And again, just saying this again, admiring characters is normal. But when a character becomes the only version of you people ever see, then who are you really talking to? That's the question that started bothering me. I didn't want to date this pretend Sonic, this pretend Skid. I wanted to know the real person underneath all of that. And when that person never really showed up, the relationship started feeling less real too. And that was exhausting. Because when you care about someone, when you want authenticity, when you want honesty, you want to know the actual human being behind the screen, behind this mask. Not just the character they decided to wear that day. Anyways, honestly, like I don't even know how many times I've had to re-record this section. I've written these lines 3 times already Because every time I read it back, I keep thinking, did I explain it clearly? Did I say too much? Did I say too little? But the truth is, some things just take some time to say out loud. And I also want to be fair here because I've done the same thing in a lighter way as well. I've role played characters before. I love Sonic, I love Tails. If you followed me for a while, you probably already know that. I've had fun with those characters just like a lot of people do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Characters can be inspiring. They can be comforting. They can even help you express parts of yourself. But there's a line. There's a difference between enjoying a character and disappearing behind one. Between having fun with a character and making them your entire identity. Because at the end of the day, fictional characters are masks for some people. And if the mask never comes off, then the person underneath starts to disappear. That's where it stopped feeling fun for me. That's where it started feeling very unhealthy. That's when I realized I didn't want to be around that kind of energy anymore, so I pulled myself away from those people. I just wanted to talk to real people, real conversations, real connections. So if you enjoy characters, fandoms, roleplay, there's nothing wrong with that because I enjoy it as well. Just don't lose yourself inside of them because you're still a person first. And that's something no character can replace. Anyways, I know that video was pretty long, longer than I expected. But these were things I needed to say, things that I wanted to say. And if any of you are listening right now and are dealing with people like this in your own life, just remember this. You have free will, so use it wisely.